Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pushups and Cool Music. I start late, but that's not because I had a long workday. I actually had the shortest and most successful workday in a long time. So that's why sales are unpredictable. I did it really well today. It was a big success. But I've been working so much lately that my place didn't look very nice, so I just really had to clean up before doing any push-ups at all because it was starting to get so dirty that making those videos would be very embarrassing for me. So, and it's more comfortable when things are clean because then I feel like I can truly relax, and I have tomorrow off. I'm not going to work. So that is all good. But considering how my videos are also about cool music, I have to start this video off with cool music as the main topic because for years I have been insanely obsessed with Ghost. You it's like the mirror image of me confuses me, but yes, I have a tattoo of Papa Emeritus, and I even took Emeritus as a middle name. That was actually a drunken suggestion to my friends at Tons of Rock. I'm like, I'm gonna take Emeritus as my middle name as Papa Emeritus, and I remember they said, great idea, but think about it when you're sober. I got sober, and I was like, Emeritus still sounds really good. I gotten a few weird questions about my name, but for the most part, I don't care anymore. So yeah, I think it's a solid name, and I have a solid tattoo. And for some reason, I got fed up with my crazy ghost fanboyism because it's kind of strange to be that obsessed. You become weird for it. So it calmed down, and even my very obsession with classic rock and heavy metal even calmed down because I was so engulfed in classical music. But I always enjoyed and respected classical music ever since I heard it for the first time. It's just that I spent more time doing rock. Uh, since my knee injury and my isolation from the rest of the world, in a way, I just found that deep interest in classical music. It's like, man, I've been loving this music all along. Why not get lost in it? And that's what I did. That's what mattered to me. And it made me more motivated to play more piano because I had to. I, I started playing piano for a reason because I think classical music, classical piano is wonderful, emotional, deep. So, yeah. But so Ghost hasn't even been a topic for a while until Ghost started releasing new songs like last fall, and gradually led up to the album. And it was like for every song that got released, my faith in the album was strengthened, you know. And I think Impera, the newest Ghost album, is a masterpiece. It's beautiful. It's uh, It's very 80s, but it also has its own original ghost sound. It's like some songs sounds like nothing I ever heard before, like 20s. That song is pretty weird, but it grew on me because it had one thing that really surprised me that I thought was really rad right from the get-go was the freaking drums and the guitar. It was so metal. But one song at a time, I will do my personal review of Impera. I will just look at track lists. Even though I've listened to it many times today, on my way to work, during break, on my way home, it has been the only thing I've listened to, you know? So, uh, then I will start with track one, Imperium. It's beautiful. It's like an anthem. It's like 1 minute 40 seconds, but it leads up to the first song that has vocals. It's like an instrumental beauty that sounds a lot like Metallica. It makes you think of Battery, but also on. It does also make me think about that instrumental track on on and Justice for All, called "To Live Is to Die." Oh, it's so beautiful. Anyway, so Imperium already very beautiful. That's what Ghost opens up their concerts with. Kaiserian, very catchy. It's like at work I had to keep myself from singing it because it was so catchy. And that one sounds fun because it kind of starts off sounding a bit like anime music, like the kind of intro music you get on an anime, like action anime, like shonen, with muscular heroes with superpowers, like Dragon Ball or One Piece or something like that. I just get that vibe. And being like an anime nerd for so many years, it has calmed down a lot. I was even so intensely anime nerd to some point that I spent time learning a lot of Japanese. Some of the Japanese still sits with me today because I do sometimes watch anime. I'm more casual now, but considering how I built the foundation on Japanese, the more anime I watch, the more Japanese I actually learn. I learn new words and learn how to observe grammar even more. So watching anime is actually productive for me. Maybe I should do more of that. But back to the music. Kaiserian, absolutely beautiful. It starts like this catchy anime intro music, but it also has some licks and riffs from Europe. The final countdown, I recognize that. And it also goes to a point where it sounds so proggy that it sounds like Dream Theater. And that just makes it a marvel to listen to. It has catchy pop sensibilities of like an anime intro, but it also has prog elements and 80s melodic metal. So beautiful, beautiful. I really like Kaiserian. Uh, Next one, Spillways. That one caught me instantly with the fun piano that kind of sounds like Still DRE or Pokemon, but at least when the first verse starts, it sounds like Pokemon. I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. It kind of sounds like it, but the melody goes a bit differently. I think, and it just develops into this gargantuan 80s rock heavy metal hit, like pop heavy metal maybe, kind of like Blue Oyster Cult and Toto. Blue Oyster Cult in the 80s, that kind of sound. I just thought of Blue Oyster Cult right away. And Toto. First, I thought of Pokemon and Dr. Dre, but as the song developed, yes, it's just very Blue Oyster Cult. Alice Cooper as well. It's just very catchy, and yes, very similar chord progression to Pokemon. On top of the verses, at least I can sing the Pokemon song. Uh, so that's fun and very cool song, very catchy. It's like one of those songs that got stuck in my head the most. Spillways. Then you have Call Me Little Sunshine. Oh, it's utterly beautiful. It has this serene feeling. I feel that Papa is looking out for me, like the spirit is taking care of me, but still, considering it has like Mephistopheles and like Satan in it, it's like, oh, come to me. I can help you. So you're basically selling your soul to Satan if you call little sunshine. That's why Satan wants you to give him cute nicknames. So, but the song itself, extremely beautiful, extremely touching, and it reminds me of my California vacation, my best 2 weeks of my life. So, ah, I'm at the loss for words. It's extremely beautiful. Uh, okay, then we go to next. Hunter's Moon. It's beautiful. It's catchy. It's poppy. It's rock and roll. It sounds so typical Ghost that I get nostalgia from listening to it. I think it sounds like something that could have been on Pope Star if Pope Star had another original track instead of just Square Hammer and a bunch of covers. If Pope Star added another original track, it would be Hunter's Moon. So I just get this feeling of nostalgia, sentimentality for 2016 when Square Hammer and Pope Star was released. I just feel that it was a very good year. Uh, so yeah, the so that's a lovely song, lovely song. It's Ghost, but it's so typical Ghost that it doesn't really add anything new to the album. But it's a nice listen, so that's why Hunter's Moon deserves its place on the album. Even though it's like it fits right in Pope Star, but he might not have written it at that time. Watcher in the Sky. Whew! When I first heard it, I thought, even after the fact that I actually heard Little Sunshine, which was my favorite at first, Call Me Little Sunshine, when I heard Watcher in the Sky, I'm like, this is the best song of the album. It just sounds a lot like Queensryche. It could fit right into Operation Mindcrime. It's just this soaring, melodic, heavy metal giant of a song. The lyrics are great, the singing, all the layers of harmony that Papa puts on, well, all songs for the most part. Sounds lovely, you know. And the harmonies in Watcher in the Sky ain't no slacker either. Man, it sounds beautiful. It sounds grand, you know. Is is one of Ghost's best songs. Okay, let's go to the next one. Dominion. That's like a classical style track. So of course my classical ears enjoy that. It's very minimalistic. It's like not like a whole orchestra. It's mostly dominated by the horn, you know, and it actually melodically kind of resembles Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings, but not as polished, not as clear in its melodic intentions, but still clear enough to give a foreboding, like atmosphere leading up to the next track that starts with epic orchestral instrumentals that fits the the chords of Dominion. So it just flows into the next song, which is 20s. That sounds like nothing I ever heard before, so it had to grow on me a bit. But still, I was still impressed when I first heard it. It was just that I was a bit confused about the structure of the song, and that Papa was kind of like, I didn't know whether he was serious or comical, maybe both because of Ghost's nature. Because and the lyrics seem to be about Putin and Trump. It has the themes of war and grabbing them by the hoo-ha. It's like that's Trump, and then you have Putin with the war and all, and that is all going on in the 20s. And it's like references to money and economy is there, so it's like I think it would be probably the song that replaces Money Dust when we get showered with money at the rituals. Fake money, Papa money, but still, it has collectible value. I even exchanged a really cool ghost poster for a Papa dollar that I got from one of my rituals that I've been to. That's what ghost concerts are called. If any outsiders watch this, I don't really intend to make these videos for people to watch, really. I just do this to keep consistently with my push ups. But I am enjoying making my own review because I'm such a big Ghost fan. I'm Mr. Emeritus. So, 20s. Yeah, I can say more about it. Very heavy, but also very like rhythmic. It kind of reminds me of like Latin rhythms and really, really pedal to the metal. And Papa being a rather entertaining and a bit quirky in character like Papa is, and still holding a substantial message. There is like a foreboding air about this, but at the same time, Papa is laughing. The world is messed up, and Papa is laughing. That's what I feel. He's not actually laughing at the song, but he does sound a bit comical in character. But very cool song. It has a bit of like if uh, if heavy metal was put into like a musical setting or something. Very heavy song. Probably one of the heaviest on the album. Yeah. Yeah, I would think because I listened to the whole album. It's just that yeah. Yeah, pretty much. It's the new Mummy Dust basically. Darkness at the heart of my love goes from heavy riffing in the 20s to a very soft melodic song. Very beautiful. When I first listened to it, it's like Simon and Garfunkel or something. Very gentle singing, acoustic guitar, kind of this old like folk rock sound. But even it could even go back to the beautiful poetic melodic sounds of like medieval or Renaissance music, which like classical guitar and very heartfelt vocals. I really love that style, like John Dowland. And when the chorus comes in and there's like several layers of papas singing at the same time, it suddenly just sounds a lot like Backstreet Boys. It's not a bad thing actually, because I have to admit, a lot of the pop music I liked as a kid, I don't like anymore. It didn't age well. But the Backstreet Boys, I always liked them. I just find their harmonies beautiful and their melodies as well. Of course, some of them is like, yeah, I can kind of hear those are cheesy lyrics made for impressionable teens. But there are some songs with substance and melody that and good lyrics as well that I enjoy from the Backstreet Boys. And the fact that they made more recent music as more adults, like just a couple of years, 3 years, something ago, they made some new songs, and I find them absolutely wonderful. They matured, the music matured with them. So, yeah, Backstreet Boys, pretty neat. So the fact that the whole epic chorus just had this Backstreet Boys feeling. I just found it beautiful. It was just very surprising. It caught me kind of off guard. I'm like, whoa, am I listening to Ghost or the Backstreet Boys? So I had like visuals of like Papa being in like a Backstreet Boys music video, but they all had the faces of Papa. But then, as the song progresses, it's also I recognize the guitars and sound. It's like because there is more guitar and rock than Backstreet Boys, it also makes REO Speedwagon come to mind and Brian Adams. Most epic like 80s ballad rock music was REO Speedwagon and Brian Adams. And then I realized along to the chorus I can actually sing. Baby, you're all that I want when I'm lying here in my arms. No, when you're lying here in my arms. It's been a while. Finding it hard to believe we're in heaven, right? Ah, that's a beautiful song. I think I sang it at karaoke, but it's been a while. I'm rusty. but anyway, so it does bear a similar chord progression to that since I can sing it on top of it. But as a music theory nerd, I start to notice connections between music everywhere. Okay, so then we got past our epic power ballad. Beautiful power ballad, indeed. I think some haters would say, "Ooh, disgusting! That's so pop. Ghost is nowhere near what it used to be." But I think Ghost, this album, is on par with Meliora because those songs are so beautiful. It has the perfect balance of like pop and heavy metal, 80s hair metal, and also heavier metal sounds, kind of like what Meliora did already. Griftwood, that song is a bit in the same vein as Kaiserian and Spillways in the way that it sounds very 80s, like Motley Crue and Alice Cooper. I enjoy it too, Griftwood, but I think Spillways and Kaiserian are catchier and stronger tracks when it comes to music played in that same vein, but it still has a lot to it. It carries a lot. It's very catchy and it's a nice listen, and it has some really good guitar solos. So, but among the tracks on this album, it's honestly I think it's the track that stands out the least. But it might grow on me. It doesn't mean I don't like it. It's just that this album is so brilliant that something has to pale in comparison to something. But I do enjoy Griftwood as well. Bite of Passage is just basically like an instrumental that leads into Respite on the Spitalfields, which is an epic, like heavy metal ballad that gradually leads into, oh, the melody is so touching, it's so beautiful. So it's a very nice closer. Ghost needs an epic closer like Monsters Clock and Deus in Absentia. I think Ghost did a great job with this one. It's beautiful. It's this grand heavy metal ballad, and it ends with the same chords and melody that starts the album, like Imperium. So it goes in a cycle if you just listen to the album on repeat. And that was Tobias's intention because uh, of the cyclical nature of what happens in the world. The rise and fall of empires is the theme of the album. And some people say he might be a prophet for predicting the war and all that. Especially that song 20s. It kind of hit me with those lyrics. It's like, wow, he wrote this before the whole Putin thing happened? Ah, but he might have known that trouble was brewing. It's not like if you pay a little attention to world events, you might see the causes of things that happen. They might those decisions are not so sudden as they seem to be. Because I've heard that there has been trouble with Ukraine and Russia years ago, but it was just in the background. Now it's full blown war. So anyway, so that was my review of Impera. I think it's one of the best albums I ever heard. I'm not kidding here. It's so addictive. I have listened to it so many times already and it's fresh, but it still hasn't arrived in the mail even though I ordered in advance. But now I have talked for 25 minutes about cool music. Now it's time to do some push ups. And the cool music I will choose for this, I can't play any Ghost because of copyright, but there is an old song that I thought was Ghost when I was a bit more of a casual in the realm of classical music and didn't know everything about it. So um, before when I went to Ghost concerts, before the concert even started, when people were like rigging up the stage and whatever, there was a eerie church song that was playing, and it sounded so immensely beautiful, and it made me think of the church choir in songs like Monstrance Clock, Deus in Absentia, and Year Zero. Like this epic, like churchy feeling. That's what I miss the most about Ghost, because I haven't heard a song like that in a while. Uh, so that is something to be thinking about for the next album. But I have no idea what Ghost will do for the next album. Haven't even seen a concert for this album, and I haven't even gotten sick of this album yet. So yeah, it will be exciting to see. But yeah, this song was playing before they even started anything, because they played the Masked Ball by Jocelyn Pook at the intro. That was in the Meliora cycle and many older cycles as well of Ghost. But before that even started, there was this eerie and beautiful and serene church music playing as people was like rigging up the stage and just doing practical things, but still setting mood for the stage. This is very calming and serene music. It's nothing like those intense, like Beethoven symphonies. The dun, 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 dun. It's very calming, but it's the closest thing I can ever get to Ghost. And staying consistent with the Ghost theme, I'm gonna play Miserere Mei Deus by Gregorio Allegri. He was a good man, a virtuous priest. He cared about the sick and the poor, and just lived a very virtuous life, and composed and wrote beautiful music that was a secret of the Vatican for a while, until Mozart was actually in the Vatican and attended a performance of that song. And Mozart, he could write down the lyrics and the notes and everything from memory. And that's how that song got out of the Vatican. Mozart was a freaking genius. Anyway, time for push ups and very serene and beautiful church music. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Need to take a break and some water. That was good. Oh. Oh, really needed to clean out my system, I guess. Oh God. Wait until I catch my breath so I can do 30 more. Using this for workout music is totally new for me. I listen to it when I think about deep existential things. I think about God. I think about heaven. I think about hell. I think about whether this is real or not. I feel a connection to the universe and God when I listen to it on my own, in quiet and solitude, not breathing like crazy and doing push-ups. But I am appreciating God's work, my complex body, my make stronger. I'm not really a Christian, but I'm curious, I'm seeking. I want to be a virtuous man. And a lot of those virtues I can find in Christianity. Whether a lot of those things that happened in the past were true or not, the words of Jesus are still true and hold to this day. And I like being in church. Especially the cathedral we have in the city. So beautiful. I love church songs, church organ. Oh, I just love church a lot. And I'm not even officially Christian or anything. I may have Christian thoughts and ideas in my head, but I'm not Christian. But a few years ago I was singing Hail Satan at the top of my lungs. Now I'm not so strongly inclined towards Satan anymore, but I still love Ghost, despite a lot of Satan in the lyrics. It's just kind of a metaphor for the darkness within us all, I think. And it's very real. It's very real. There's no such thing as a shitty human being because all our decisions are within our control. We just need to be conscious of them. Anyone can be a good person or a bad person, and anyone can change. Whew. Okay, 30 more push ups. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Whew. Whew. That was the only song I listened to today that wasn't actually by Ghost. But I thought it was Ghost. I thought that was a review on the song that was on Prequel. But Prequel wasn't nearly as good as this song alone. But it's a decent album too. I listened to it enough to know all the lyrics. It's just that I felt that this album was good but not great. It wasn't everything Ghost can be. And I feel the new album Impera is. This music is relaxing and beautiful enough. Well, all my music is beautiful. I listen to a lot of wonderful classical music. But this music can resonate in the background. So I can read my Stoic quotes with that music slightly in the background. I just turn the sound a little. Oh, longest video ever. But it did have Impera review, push-ups, cool music, and a good dose of some lovely stoicism, which is medicine for the human mind. So, very important. Stoicism is more important than any religion. For me, Stoicism is a kind of religion because it's a way of thinking, but it's more like a lifestyle. And Stoicism is nothing magical or eerie. It's just getting back to your natural self, living in the moment, not overthinking, not worrying, not thinking negative, ugly thoughts about yourself or anybody else for that matter. Don't spread negativity. There might be people who are difficult individuals, but in my stoic mind, I just think those people are struggling. So I don't even believe in evil anymore because we all have something good within us. All humans want to be loved and seen. It's just that some humans are more distorted than others. Now I even bring my own pieces of stoicism to the table This is not something I read in a book. So Stoicism is very good for me. Okay. Okay. Hmm. Very, very peculiar. Because I haven't read the quote yet, and it's about the very same topic I talked about. Okay, I just have to breathe to breathe, read properly. I just did 100 solid push-ups. Okay, March the 12th. That's today. Seeing things as the person at fault does. Whenever someone has done wrong by you, immediately consider what notion of good or evil they had in doing it. For when you see that, you'll feel compassion instead of astonishment or rage. For you may yourself have the same notions of good and evil, or similar ones, in which case you make an allowance for what they've done. But if you no longer hold the same notions, you'll be more readily gracious for their error. Socrates, perhaps the wisest person to ever live, used to say that nobody does wrong willingly, meaning that no one is wrong on purpose either. Nobody thinks they're wrong, even when they are. They think they're right, they're just mistaken. Otherwise, they wouldn't think it anymore. Could it be that the slights you've experienced or the harm that others have done to you was not inflicted intentionally? What if they simply were doing no, what if they simply thought they were doing the right thing for them, even for you? It's like the memorial for Confederate soldiers at Arlington. Obviously, that was wrongly fought for by people doing wrong, which states in part that the Confederate soldiers served in simple obedience to duty as they understood it. Again, they understood wrongly, but it was their genuine understanding, just as Lincoln was genuine when he ended his famous Cooper Union speech by saying, "Let us to the end dare to do our duty as we understand it." How much more tolerant and understanding would you be today if you could see the actions of other people as attempts to do the right thing, whether you agree or not? How radically would this lens change your perspective on otherwise offensive or belligerent actions? Man, I can't even believe myself. I haven't even flipped the page, you know. I talked about the very same topic, but now that's Samuel Barber, Agnus Dei. Anyway, it's beautiful too. But because I already said what I was going to say in that Stoic quote, we should call it quits now and just be nice and understanding to others. People who are supposedly mean are usually people who struggle. Evil doesn't really exist. Those who are the hardest to love are usually the ones who need it the most. And on that note, stay buff and listen to Impera. Have a nice evening.